Live from WTOC, the Southeast news leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Welcome to The News on WTOC Plus. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley. We do start with an alert this morning as Puller police are looking for a missing woman. Take a look on your screen right now. This is Shay Jackson. She's 29 years old. Puller PD says she was last seen and heard from on December 11th. She lives in Florida but came to Puller looking for work. She has a dog who's a black and brown mixed husky with her as well. Puller PD says Shay walked away from her vehicle and is believed to be on foot, and if you see her, you are urged to contact the police. Well, WTOC is continuing to follow the tragic acid attack on a woman who was walking in Forsyth Park last week on Wednesday evening. Now, Savannah police say they have spoken with two witnesses, potential witnesses, who were nearby at the time of the attack near the tennis courts. Now, this week we showed you a photo of a man police say they want to identify and speak with. Police say this person is not a suspect, but potentially a witness. SPD put out an enhanced photo of that same man, hoping someone can identify him. They need to question him to assist in that investigation. SPD also need to ID the driver of that white SUV you just saw. It was traveling on Whitaker around 8:15 the night of the assault. Now, SPD are still looking for a suspect in the case. They say a random man poured acid on a woman before running away last week. The victim, named Ashley, is undergoing specialized burn treatment, including skin grafts, at a hospital in Augusta. There is a GoFundMe that's been set up to help pay for Ashley's medical care moving forward. And if you'd like to help Ashley, you can find the link on WTOC.com. Well, this morning, a jury trial begins for Charles Teeple IV. He's accused of punching an elderly Savannah man on New Year's Eve in 2019, which prosecutors say led to the man's death several days later. Now, this man he's being accused, of killing 66-year-old Bruce Helmley. He is in court right now for an appearance that started at 9 a.m. for a special set jury trial. This case all began back in 2019 when Chatham County Police were called to Basil's on Wilmington on New Year's for a report of an assault. Now, Helmley told officers he'd been punched by a man at the restaurant, and witnesses told police the attack was unexpected and unprovoked. That next morning, Helmley was taken to the hospital after losing consciousness, where he died 6 days later on January 8th. Teeple was indicted on some charges in 2021, 2 years after the victim died. Now, less than 2 weeks ago, the DA's office re-indicted him with new and additional charges, including aggravated assault, 2 counts of felony murder, and exploitation and intimidation of an elderly person. Teeple's attorney tried to get today's trial moved back. However, the judge denied it. The case has been set for trial 5 times previously. However, the judge said she will be moving it forward. We do have crews in the courtroom right as well who will bring us the latest on that trial this afternoon. Turning now to some international news. In Australia, authorities are sharing more about the deadly anti-Semitic terror attack that killed at least 15 people over the weekend. 2 shooters opened fire at a Hanukkah celebration on Bondi Beach in Sydney, and Bradley Blackburn is tracking the latest.
The sound of gunfire cut through the air on Sydney's Bondi Beach Sunday, sending crowds running for cover. Authorities said more than 1,000 people were at the beach for an event called Hanukkah by the Sea.
Why it's enough, just to feel Hanukkah.
This video shows the moments before the attack as families celebrated. More than a dozen people were killed, including children, and dozens more were hospitalized.
The victims' age ranges are from as young as 10 to 87. A devastating fact.
Blood was soaking everywhere. I was holding little child. I don't know his name. He was screaming. He was lost.
Authorities now say the 2 gunmen seen here firing from a bridge were a 50-year-old father and his 24-year-old son, identified as a Pakistani national based in Sydney. The older man was shot and killed by police. In Washington, President Trump addressed the attack.
And that was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously. And I just want to pay my respects to everybody.
In cities across the U.S., from Indianapolis to Houston to New York, The first night of Hanukkah was shadowed with grief,
Evil is incomprehensible.
as so many lit a light and honored the victims of an Australian tragedy. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And as you just heard, Jewish communities all over the United States are grieving this attack, including the Jewish communities right here in Georgia. Mary Kate Hamilton with our sister station in Atlanta has more.
In the face of grief, Jewish communities across metro Atlanta gathered to celebrate the first night of Hanukkah last night, and even more events are scheduled for tonight. Part of the meaning of Hanukkah in the Jewish faith is literally light overcoming darkness. Even still, understandably, Jewish communities are taking extra precautions this holiday season. The Atlanta Jewish Foundation and the Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta released a joint statement over the weekend that says their community security initiatives are on, quote, full alert, and that they're working with law enforcement partners. One rabbi we spoke with last night says all people should be free to worship without fear.
Every person has to know, and Jew and non-Jew alike, whenever you have an opportunity to help that freedom, you should stand up for it, and you should stand up against hate, stand up against terror, stand up against evil, because it's not just for one denomination or one religion, it's for the entire world. We all deserve and are entitled to have that freedom to live the way we want to live.
According to the Anti-Defamation League, anti-Semitic attacks were already on the rise in Australia before this horrible weekend. Reporting in Midtown, Mary Kate Hamilton, Atlanta News First.
Well, homicide investigators are on the scene in California after the bodies of two people were found inside the Los Angeles home of filmmaker Rob Reiner. Sources have told CBS News the deceased are Reiner and his wife, Michelle. In a news conference that happened overnight, police would not confirm the identity of the bodies and said they would not give details surrounding the deaths until the investigation moves further. However, authorities say investigators are questioning neighbors as they await a warrant to fully search that property. CBS News' Gwen Baumgartner has more from the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles.
Filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were found dead at their Los Angeles home Sunday. Sources tell CBS News in what police are calling an apparent homicide.
It's a death investigation. If it's determined to be a crime, we will seek the suspect. We will bring them to justice.
First responders were called to the house Sunday, where they found the bodies of a 78-year-old man and 68-year-old woman, though so far authorities will not confirm their identities. The Los Angeles Deputy Police Chief says the robbery homicide unit responded to the home, adding that investigators are speaking to neighbors as part of the probe, but they are not providing further details on the circumstances surrounding their deaths.
There's been no reports from the neighbors regarding hearing anything or seeing anything that we can release to the public.
The Reiner family has released a statement saying in part, "We are heartbroken by this sudden loss, and we ask for privacy during this unbelievably difficult time." Rob Reiner, son of late comedic great Carl Reiner, became a household name playing Archie Bunker's son-in-law, Michael Stivic, known as Meathead on CBS's All in the Family. He went on to direct dozens of iconic films, including This Is Spinal Tap, The Princess Bride, Misery, and When Harry Met Sally, which is where Reiner met his wife Michelle. Reiner was also a major political donor. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass said, "This is a devastating loss for our city and our country." California Governor Gavin Newsom adding, his boundless empathy made his stories timeless. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Turning now to health news, 1 in 10 people with measles ends up in the hospital. That's according to South Carolina state health officials. And with 126 cases now confirmed in South Carolina, doctors across the state are warning holiday travelers to take precautions. Since last Tuesday, South Carolina's Department of Public Health has confirmed 42 new measles cases, specifically in upstate South Carolina. Now, Dr. Taras Nublick with Novant Health said that she wants you to know the virus can stay airborne for 2 hours after someone leaves a room, and vaccination is the best way to protect you and your family. The measles vaccine is 93% effective after 1 dose. That's critical protection, especially for children who've made up most of the cases so far. Children between 5 and 17 have specifically made up 86% of the 126 cases. Without the vaccine, measles hospitalizes 10% of residents. That means 1 in 10 people who get measles will need hospital care and close contacts who could be quarantining during the holidays. Since most of the cases are in upstate South Carolina, the worry might seem far away. However, doctors say traveling could bring measles closer than you can think.
Even things like holiday shopping, going to the mall, going to Walmart, going to things. You never know where you can get exposed, and people can transmit it 4 days prior to showing symptoms. So you could contract it from a completely asymptomatic individual at your church, at your school, at the mall. So being in a certain corner of the state doesn't guarantee protection.
Now, health officials say cases are rising with the holiday rush. With 86 kids already sick and 1 in 10 measles patients needing that hospital care, doctors say now is the time to check your vaccination records. The vaccine is free at most pharmacies and the health department, and it could keep your family out of the hospital and out of quarantine this Christmas. Well, for the hundreds of thousands of people coming to Atlanta for next year's World Cup, hotels are going to be pretty darn expensive. Adam Murphy with our sister station in Atlanta spoke with several downtown Atlanta hotel managers about the skyrocketing prices they're seeing.
Construction is nearly complete at the new Moxie Hotel on Marietta Street in downtown Atlanta. Management here will open up just in time for the FIFA World Cup.
The rush is on, but in a safe way to be able to get everything ready as soon as possible, right? We want to be able to have service aspects completed and done in a way that we know that when it comes time for World Cup, we're ready to go and we can give you 100% amazing service.
The general manager here said that a normal night might run you as low as $200, but during the World Cup, that rate could jump to as much as $1,500 for one night.
For World Cup, obviously, that's going to go up, and I think it's going to go up everywhere in the city. You know, it's going to be very competitive in the city from a price range of, let's say, $700 to $1,500, right? Anywhere you go.
You can expect to pay anywhere from 300% to as much as 600% more a night during the World Cup, regardless of which hotel you choose. The GM of the new Hotel Phoenix next to Mercedes-Benz Stadium said it's what you call supply and demand.
Atlanta being the global city that it is, and with the amount of events that it puts on, this is the place to be. So close to the Benz and State Farm and Georgia World Congress Center. We're right in the middle of everything.
Soccer fans will have to shell out big bucks to be in the middle of the action, but higher prices won't keep people away.
So if you're going to be here and you're going to be spending a lot more money, we understand that that's a crazy thing for some people, and we want to be able to add a ton of value to that by having different activities for you to do, different programming that will allow people to enjoy themselves.
Adam Murphy, Atlanta News First.
And finally, check this out. The International Longshoresmen Association, Local 1414, held its annual Christmas giveaway, handing out toys and gift cards to thousands of children. The ILA partnered with Gateway Terminals, Tyco Trucking Company, its international and district offices, and other partners, pooling resources to give back to the community. They gave out a wide range of toys, making sure there was something for every child. The president of the union says it's important to give back.
Well, being in the shipping industry, we understand what has happened with the economy, which you're talking about the government shutdown, you're talking about the tariff taxes. These type of things tend to impact the community as a whole. When you're looking at decisions that are made, these decisions that are made are very impactful on people's lives and the economy. So when you see that there's a need for help for the economy and God has blessed you, you tend to bless those who are less fortunate.
The union's president says their main goal for the Saturday giveaway was to make sure every child walked away with a smile. And with that, we're going to wrap things up here for the news on WTOC Plus. We appreciate you spending part of your Monday morning with us. We'll be back at the top of the hour for another round of stories, as well as an extended look at your forecast with meteorologist Andrew Gorton. We'll be talking about how long these freezing temperatures are around to stay with the wind chill. Savannah got down to 12 degrees last night, which is pretty crazy. It was still under freezing when I was making it into work today. So we'll have a look at that. And in the meantime, for our latest news, you can always head on over to our website at WTOC.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll now join Local News Live in progress.